He was a college kid, just looking for a good time in a new city. He was thrown out of the bar, alone, into the neon-soaked night. Surveillance cameras caught his final minutes. They saw him stumble. They saw him wave at a cop. They saw him walk. But the cameras stopped tracking him when he took a path that wasn't a street. He walked into the deep, wet darkness beside a river called the Cumberland. And the most unsettling detail wasn't what they found in the water 2 weeks later. It was what was missing. His boots. One was on a bank. The other was nowhere to be seen. It was the last, strange sign of the end of Riley's strain. Nashville, Tennessee, March 8th, 2024. The air is cold. The streets are loud. The music pours out of every door. This is Broadway, a place where the party never stops, and the world is a blur of flashing lights and cheap beer. Riley Strain, 22 years old, was deep in that blur. He was in town for a fraternity trip, surrounded by his friends. Then, around 9:30 p.m., the night took a turn. He was asked to leave Luke's 32 Bridge. Management said he was too drunk. They said they served him 1 drink and 2 waters, but the toxicology report later told a different story. His blood alcohol content was 0.228. That's almost 3 times the legal driving limit. But how does a 22-year-old get that intoxicated by 9:30 p.m.? The 2025 lawsuit blew the lid off this mystery. It wasn't just the bar. It started on the bus. The family alleges that the fraternity trip from Missouri to Nashville was stocked with coolers of high-alcohol vodka Jello shots. They claim it was a culture of binge or bust before the wheels even touched the pavement. By the time he walked into Luke's, he didn't stand a chance. He was outside now, alone. His last message to a girl back home was a confusing string of words. Good lops. 10 minutes later, he was on surveillance footage. He was walking fast, unsteady. He kept going in the wrong direction from his hotel. He crossed First Avenue North. He was headed for Gay Street, a street with no neon, a street that runs right alongside the Cumberland River. The final sighting is the one that gives everyone the chills. A Metropolitan Nashville police officer, standing on a corner, saw Riley walking. The officer's body cam footage caught it all. Riley walks past. He is polite. He waves a quick hello to the cop. He looks like any other drunk college kid trying to find his way back to the hotel. The officer just keeps walking, and the camera keeps recording, and then Riley, moments later, disappears into the unlit, empty stretch near the river's edge. He walked past the only person who could have helped him. The search for Riley was a frantic mess. His friends couldn't find him. They reported him missing the very next morning. The search focused on the water immediately. The Cumberland River was high. It was fast. It was a cold, dark monster that night. 2 community members, just volunteering to search, found the first clue. It wasn't on the street. It wasn't in a dumpster. It was his bank card, lying on the riverbank near the water. It confirmed what everyone feared. He had been to the edge of the dark. But then, the most confusing part of the search began. On March 22nd, 2 weeks after he vanished, a worker clearing a barge 8 miles downstream found a body in the water. It was Riley. He was still wearing his two-tone shirt. The police were quick to rule out foul play. The preliminary autopsy found no sign of a struggle, no major trauma. It was drowning and intoxication. Accidental. Case closed, right? But the family and the internet were not settled. They looked at the body details. When Riley was pulled from the cold water, he was missing his pants, and he was missing his boots. Why was a drunk man who had drowned and floated 8 miles pulled from the water without his clothes? Forensics calls it the washing machine effect. When a body drags along the debris-filled bottom of a fast river for 2 weeks, loose clothing like jeans and cowboy boots, which don't have laces, are easily stripped away by the friction of the riverbed. It's a scientific explanation, but it doesn't make the image of him floating without them any less haunting. One boot remained behind, sitting on the bank, a solitary marker of where he went in. The police offered their final theory. Riley stumbled in the pitch black, slipped on the mud, and fell down the steep embankment into the roaring water. But the finality of the police report didn't end the story. It just shifted the blame. In 2025, his family filed a massive lawsuit, not against the bar, not against the city, against his own fraternity brothers. This is where the story turns from tragic to infuriating. The lawsuit paints a picture of total abandonment. It claims Riley was virtually incoherent, stumbling through the bar. But when he was kicked out, no one followed him. No one called him an Uber. No one even called his parents. The suit alleges that while Riley was walking into the dark, his brothers stayed at the bar for hours, then went back to the hotel and, according to the filing, just went to sleep. They allegedly didn't even report him missing until the next day. The TABC investigated the bar and found no concrete evidence of overserving. But the question isn't just how he fell, it's why he was left alone to fall. It is a tragedy of speed and darkness, the last wave to an officer, one last drunken text, one false step toward an overgrown riverbank. His last moment was alone, in the dark, slipping into the current that would carry him 8 miles away. Riley Strain was not murdered. He was lost. But the coldness of the river and the speed of the current make you wonder if he had a moment to panic, to scream, to fight before the water filled his lungs. Riley Strain's body was found. The case is technically closed. But the terror of the story is the silence. He was on a street packed with people, but he was completely, utterly alone. The thing about places like Broadway is that they are designed to distract you. The lights are too bright. The music is too loud. They hide the real dangers, like the deep black river waiting just 2 streets away. And sometimes, the people who are supposed to watch your back are the ones who turn away first. Tell me in the comments, do you think his fraternity brothers are criminally negligent for letting him walk away? Or was this just a horrible accident that no one is to blame for? Hit like if you want more deep dives into the shadows of big cities. Stay safe, watch your friends. Thank you for watching.